Earlier this week, Apple has released the first beta of their new iOS 26.1, the first big update to the new iOS 26, and even though initially it looks like it's not a big update in terms of new features and changes, it turns out it actually brings some really cool new features and improvements to iOS 26. Of course, it's just beta 1 and we can expect more to be added to this update in the next few betas. So in today's video, I will show you guys 10 cool new features that you can expect to get on your device with the new iOS 26.1. First off, we're talking about Apple Music, a feature that has been on other music streaming services for a really long time, finally made its way to the Apple Music app. You can finally swipe on the title here to go forwards or backwards between different tracks. This feature has been requested for a really long time, and it's actually super useful. It's much easier than pointing your finger to the button right there. You simply swipe here. It's actually very natural to do that, so it's a pretty cool feature to have. Finally, it's here with the new iOS 26.1. Now, Apple has made a big change to the menu that you get when you select a text on your device. Now, this is actually quite a big change. So if I go ahead and select a text, on this menu right here, we would be able to swipe like this and go to the other stuff, like the other buttons and the other tools that we have. And you can see now it doesn't actually show anything at all. Now you get just this arrow right here. So instead of going like swiping through all the different tools, now you will have to tap that arrow, and like that you will get all the different tools that you have on that menu. A pretty big change in my opinion for this menu, because it has been like this for forever now, and of course we are used to do that. So you just select text and you go like this to find anything you want. Now you will actually need to tap there and get this drop down menu to select your tools. Now, there are changes to the Photos app again with iOS 26.1. Now, first of all, of course, we will see here a change on the liquid glass effects that we get on the buttons here. They're always changing something, especially with the Photos app. Now, you can see these like little menus right here are now more frosted. They have basically just brought down the liquid glass effect. And what we get here, which is again, in my opinion, a really nice change, are the new controls for video. So you can see right here the scrubber, and of course the play pause button, the mute right there. So it's actually a new like player for your videos on the Photos app, and it's much better than previous one. This is actually a really nice change. Moving on to the lock screen here. So here we have the tool that we use to customize the look of the clock on the lock screen. Finally, it does have the liquid glass design. So it used to have basically the old design without the liquid glass effect. And now you can see here when we switch between glass and also the solid ones, it has like that liquid glass effect, even though in my opinion, it's actually quite hard to notice there what is written. Probably will change. Apple will change something there. That effect will be adjusted most likely. But again, the new design is finally here on the clock tool as well. Talking about liquid glass, the app library finally got the liquid glass effect. So on your icons you have this reflection that shows around the icons. Now actually that shows here around the folders on the app library, and it looks really nice, especially if you're also using the liquid glass icons. It looks much better. So that reflection that you get right here around the icons and the toggles on the control center is now on the app library as well. And the liquid glass effect also expands to the phone app. The phone app dial now has the numbers here with the liquid glass effect. And what's really interesting is this gradient that we get on the widgets when they're on the dark mode. It's probably hard to notice here from the camera, but if you have 26.1 on your device, you will notice that all the widgets that are dark on the dark mode will actually have that like gradient effect right there at the top, just like giving it a reflection look, which in my opinion actually looks quite good. And we have a change on Safari as well. if you use this layout for Safari, you will see that basically the tools that we have right here at the bottom are now resized. So the padding has changed and it fits much better the screen. It's much better in my opinion. You can compare this to iOS 26 and it looks much better. So it's actually a bit wider, making it very easy for you to have access to anything you need right here on the bottom bar. And iOS 26.1 will bring AI to more languages: Chinese, Danish, Dutch, Norwegian, Portuguese, Swedish, Turkish, and Vietnamese are the new languages supported by iOS 26.1, which is really awesome. Not just that, it will also expand live translation for AirPods to more languages. Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Italian will actually now be supported for live translation with the new iOS 26.1. So these are some cool new features that are coming to your device with the new iOS 26.1. Now, as you probably know, this is still on beta 1. It's very early and we will get a few more betas until we get a final public release of this update. So currently, as I said, we're on beta 1. I would expect actually Apple to release another beta maybe in a couple of weeks for these first couple of betas. I would expect them to go on a 2-week schedule. So this week most likely we'll get a minor update to iOS 26 like 26.0.1, and then the upcoming week, which will be the first week of October, most likely on the 6th, we will get the second beta of iOS 26.1. Of course, followed with a few more betas. I would believe we will get this released most likely the last week of October or maybe the first week of November. So that's the timeline for the release of iOS 26.1. So about a month from now, you can expect to get these features on your iOS 26 device. Now, as far as installing this on your daily driver, I wouldn't actually suggest that. I have it here on my main device. The battery life is actually not that good. I was expecting it to be maybe a bit better than iOS 26, but it's pretty much the same. I would say maybe even slightly worse than iOS 26. So for now, I would suggest you avoid iOS 26.1 beta 1. So that is it. Thank you guys for watching the video. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and you found it helpful. Of course, subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.